Hello Chipsters, it's Gav. Welcome to another one of my videos. An impromptu one. It's night time, so the lighting that I've got isn't fantastic, but it'll have to suffice. I'm going to be showing you, as the title suggests, I have to read it off here, and I haven't got my glasses on, but it's the Texas Revolution series from Scale75, and it's Tejano, volunteer, Juan Saguins company, 21st of April 1836. I've had it for a couple of weeks, I believe, and I keep forgetting to give it a show. Are you trying to be an absolute pest today? You are. My little hombre is, we're all Spanish today, little hombre down here, Archie. Right, I'm digressing again, aren't I? Yeah, I was painting some progress on the flat. That's what flat is, if you haven't seen the other videos. I was painting that and I thought, oh, and I've got some stuff. I'm always got stuff on that about the Alamo and that. Not just the Alamo, but the Texas Revolution. I love all the Old West, particularly anything like mountain men, the frontier of the 1820s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and then obviously going right up to the Lincoln County Wars of the 1870s and things like that. But I digress yet again, don't I? I've been after this particular... No, well, I haven't been after it, sorry. I had a bad experience with Scale75. I did that bust years ago of, I can't remember that, Calgrin, the green dwarf, I painted him as I call him, bust. And I've got to say it was lousy, as in the print quality and stuff, and it really was horrible. And it's up to date, it's been the worst bust I've ever worked on. Now I have to say I've opened this only today actually and had a look, and it's apart from a couple of tiny minor little glitches, it's actually really nice. And I did think Scale75 was a Spanish company, but this actually says, Cassie, hey, when you get to that age and you've got to hold everything back like this, it's a nightmare when I forget the glasses when we've gone to the curry house. Right, where does it say? Come on, give me the address. Oh, that was it, yeah. South Lake, Texas. It says Bank Street for anybody that's in that part of town. But I was always it's a 75mm figure in resin, and like most 75mm figures, the price is often 35, 45 pounds, sometimes 50, depending on what it is. And obviously for a mounted figure, for a 75 mounted figure, you could be paying 75, 80 pound for something like that. So there's two figures that I've seen so far, the Tejano and a filibuster figure, and he's got his whiskey jar and he's dancing away and all this type of stuff. And I happen to be on Hysterex Agents in the UK. I believe they're down in Dover. And all these places, I'm sure we're all the same, whether it's figures, models, whatever, we go to the clearance section. And usually the clearance section is either it's just we all know that there isn't really any you might say 50p or a pound, but that's about all you're going to get. And there was actually quite a few figures there, and I looked straight at this one. Now this one, I've got to be careful. All I can say is El Greco, where I buy a lot of my stuff from, for figure-wise, they were selling this at roughly around full price. Now I'm not going to say their price because I can't remember it and I don't want to do them a disservice. This was in the clearance section or the sales section of Hysterex Agents, and the prices I've normally seen this going around is around the 40 odd pound mark, 43, something like that. And it was just a bit too much. I was just thinking, no, I've always liked that. I say it's a type of thing I enjoy, but I'm not going to pay that much money for it. And lo and behold, if you want to hot foot it over, and by the way, I've got no connections to either of the companies I've just mentioned. If you want to go hot it over to the clearance section of Hysterex Agents, this was going for £24. Now I believe I was only on there today actually, just seeing if they put anything else on. Not that I got any money for it, but I was hopefully that filibuster would have turned up. But it was still for sale. I don't know how many's left, But if you like that type of thing like myself, you might want to go and take a look, especially after you've seen this unboxing. So I'll turn the camera off. I'll daintily move this flat over before I make it even flatter by knocking it over and damaging all the paintwork. That's for a future video, but I just thought I'd sneak it in there. And we're going to take a look at this volunteering Juan Saguins company of the Tejano volunteers. See you in a minute. Right guys, thanks for joining me at the bench. Again, small tripod. I'll have to get a different type. Oh, every time I open my big mush, isn't it? You've got to come in tap dancing like Fred Astaire. Right, I apologise on the last video. I was playing it back the other day, or some of it, and all I could hear was tippy tappy. But anyway, I digress. That's what you're going to get. It seems fairly true to the figure itself when we have a look at it. Comes in a nice sleeve with a box inside. I'll show you that in a minute. Obviously there's a painted up version. There's the side, again nicely presented. A rear view. They give you all the paint numbers there for their own paints, of course. Scale75 paints. There's our details on the side there. Right guys, I'd call it a sleeve and it's not. I'm just used to doing a lot of the busts which tend to come in sleeves. It's actually a box, very tightly packed. You get this really nice card with it. You can freeze it, but I'm going to read it anyway. Why? Because I've got a big gob and I like to shout about things. Right, we've got Tejano volunteer, Juan Saguins company, 21st of April 1836. Having survived the fighting at San Jacinto, our man savours a smoke while surveying the carnage. His hat, typical of those favoured by the vaqueros, is adorned with a rosary. Also conspicuous is cardboard that Saguins men fixed in their hatbands to identify themselves as friendly Mexicans. Although popular culture identifies buckskins with Anglo-American frontiersmen, Tejanos also sported a leather jacket, the cuera. The haversack and knife are of US manufacture but would have been available in Texas by the mid-1830s. The sarape and gourd canteen are, however, representative of Mexican borderlands, as are his distinctive trousers. He clutches a British India pattern brown bess musket, but has cut several inches off the barrel to render it less cumbersome while on horseback. Brogan shoes clash with the popular ranchero stereotype, but research confirms their use. Captain Saguin authorised a voucher for 22 pairs of shoes from San Felipe merchant Joseph Urban. Since exactly 22 enlisted men served in Saguins' company, it is likely they wore them at San Jacinto. The original document still resides at the Texas State Library and Archives in Austin, Texas. General Sam Houston later lauded Saguins' brave and gallant bearing at the Battle of San Jacinto with that of his men. And you also get a really nice bit of artwork on the back. Which I would imagine is it going to be for obviously the sketch for what the figure was going to be, I believe. So that was really nice to see. Nice tight fitting box, thick, like sponge foam was the word I was after, sponge. And there's our figure. I'd say not huge, but that's how it's packed. That's a base if you can't see with the light bouncing off. Right, here's our main centerpiece, I suppose you'd call it that. I always do this, keep trying to move the figure or the model to the camera rather than the other way around. I'll go straight to the only bit that or the main bit that I've noticed. I'll have to use this pointy bit. We've got a slight... Oh, that was good, Gav. Should we do that again? We won't be editing this out, this is one of Gav's videos. Right, let's try that again, shall we? we've got a small indentation there, slightly there. There was a small bit, there it is, a bit of infill there that'll just need taking out with a scalpel. But that's not going to be hard to fill. There is, I don't know if you can see it, it's a slight, might need rounding off in places. Yeah, you've got the calf definition and the shin bone in that, but that might just need a bit of rounding off. There's a slight line there as well. A couple of bit of pitting in the blanket, which I'm now losing. Might be another one somewhere, maybe up there. You could either leave those in as just wear and tear in the blanket, or obviously fill them if that's what you desire. But still nice and clean. That's a nice, you know, again, nice little bit of rope all braided around the gourd. There's our blanket again. Again, there might be a tiny bit of pitting every there and then. But again, if we can see the that is. But plenty for us to do our texture painting on with that. Lots of little dots and lots of lines and whatever, just to get some texture in. Again, we've got that line there, can you see it? That'll need cleaning out. Also around the boot area there, or the brogues. But still, that was really nice. I like that. Square peg for the head to fit in. We'll do the head now. Let me just do it off camera, see if it'll fit in. I bet it won't. Right, there's our head. Stay in there, will you? It's not going to stay in there very well. I thought that was really nicely done. The face looks better than the one on the box. I think it seems more detailed. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. But that's really nice. It's always the faces that sell figures for me. I mean, I don't mean me selling figures as in, but when I buy them. We've got the, again, let's just see if we can fit, again, all some nice deep plugs in that for them to sit in. There he is with his hat on. Got a thin spot there. The only thing I'd say is just be careful cleaning this pouring lug here, because obviously it's a very thin hat. There's a couple of little bits around the side which I presume are needing to be cleaned off. I couldn't see anything on the original artwork on the box that showed it, so I believe that might need to be cleaned off. There's our bit of card, there's our rosary, again very finely done. But yep, there he is. We've got our arm. Well, like buckskin fringes on, tie-offs. Again, another well appointed plug there to get it in. There's his cigar. Again, the hand looks very nice. There's his shirt at the back there. Again, more fringe work. That's nicely done. There's, you know, there's shadow areas underneath that you can put in. It's not just moulded flat to the jacket. And again, we can see the muscles and whatever of the hand at the back there. That's that. Here's our cut down brown bess. Just have to be careful with the sling. Although it's nice to see the sling actually moulded on. I'm going to faff around with it, but there is obviously a bit there that'll probably need cleaning off. Very slight. I've never known a piece of resin, or white metal for that matter, let's face it, that is completely straight. It might, when we anchor it to the ground and put that in his arm, it might help us, but it's not overly noticeable, I don't think. I've seen a lot worse. so that's not a problem. Then we've got a base. It comes with a nice little moulded base. I think I'd use that on a mounting block. And there's our officer's hat, just to give a bit of context, really, isn't it? There you go. Yeah, I'm going to enjoy doing that. I think when I'm going to do it, I have no idea. If it was more for the price, I'll be honest with you. As I say, after seeing it, you know, for £40 odd for so long, I couldn't resist getting it for 24. Yeah, I paid about £3 or £4 delivery, but. So if you fancy one, try Hysterex Agents out in the UK. They've got that clearance section. You might see something else you enjoy, or you know, want to buy there. I'll leave you with this. So thank you very much for indulging me in the lousy camera work. I do apologise, but again, it's been fairly noisy in the house, and we've had bad weather the last couple of days. The wife worked at home, so I couldn't get the videos out I wanted to do. So I'm just taking the opportunity before I forget to show this off. And I was listening again to some more Texas Revolution stuff. I just thought I'd throw this out while I still remembered it. So coming up, we've got a little look at the first unit or first base of those epic Imperial Guard 13mm French Imperial Guard Grenadiers. I've done a fair bit to the mounted Lancer. He's all stuck together, as in just the main torso, arms, head, all that stuff. I've done no obviously sling work or anything with it yet, and I'm just done some filling and things on the portmanteau and the musket cover, and so that'll be a couple of days for you see. Well, I don't even know if in a couple of days if you'll see any a video up of it, but there will be a video up some stage next week. That flat. I'm going to carry on painting that tonight, just because I'm enjoying doing it. So there should be maybe an update on that coming up over the next few days. I won't do a Lexington 1 in 700 scale aircraft carrier update. I'm doing a full day on her tomorrow, but she probably won't get an update for another week or so. So I think that's about it for all I need to tell you. Look after yourselves. Thanks for stopping by and taking a look. As I say, I know these display figures aren't everybody's cup of tea, but I really enjoy bringing history to, well, I mean, I do obviously non-historical subjects as well, but I do enjoy bringing history to life in the form of figures. It gives you just as models can do, but it gives you the want to go out and read up more, and in fact I got a couple of cheap books on eBay for the Alamo. It's amazing what you're brought up on, you know, reading stuff, and it's like the Colonel Travis, is it, or Captain Travis? I think it's Colonel Travis. Drew his line in the sand with his sword. You know, all of you want to stay here with me, step over, and one man didn't. That was all. That never happened. A bloke in the 1870s who had actually spoke to the one guy that had got out the Alamo, and he'd stopped with his parents for a few weeks, I think. And he was obviously recounting stuff, and he confessed to the American government when they were doing a history on the Alamo, and he said, well, actually, I didn't make that up because I thought it sounded better, and it sounded what he would have actually said. And ever since then, historians have just been putting that in. It never happened. Never mind. So, but again, as I say, it's reading up and stuff, learning about stuff. Yeah, brilliant. So, thank you very much. Hopefully, though, we will get this one soon. Oh, I've got coming up. I've got a thank you video. Somebody sent me something, and I've got to put a threat. I'm going to do one on Monday, so you've got that coming up as well. So, thank you very much. Take care. Thanks for stopping by, and keep the brushes moving. Keep the glue and styrene stuck together, otherwise they tend to fall apart. And we'll catch each other soon on another video.